Are you feeling a little lost in the AI jungle? Yeah, you're not alone. It seems like every single day there's a new so-called game-changing AI tool that promises to completely revolutionize your business. So the big question is, how do you pick the right one without getting totally overwhelmed? Well, let's break down how to do just that.
First, let's just get a sense of the scale we're talking about, because the AI revolution isn't coming, it is already here in full swing. According to a brand new report from Bob Slovek at Virtualization Options LLC, a Colorado-based technology research firm, a staggering 65% of organizations are already regularly using artificial intelligence.
And that massive adoption rate, it's created an absolute explosion of choice. Right now, we are looking at a market with over 300 different AI tools, all fighting for your attention, for your budget. So how in the world do you know which one is all hype and which one is actually going to deliver results for you?
But despite this massive gold rush to adopt AI, there's a pretty major roadblock. The very same report found that a full 85% of organizations say data privacy and security is their number one concern. And honestly, with good reason. Choosing the wrong tool isn't just a waste of money, it can be downright dangerous.
So you've got this incredible opportunity on one hand and this huge, scary risk on the other. It really does feel like you're trying to navigate a maze, doesn't it? But thankfully, that report from Virtualization Options LLC basically gives us a map. So let's walk through their playbook together. And let's be crystal clear about this. The stakes could not be higher. The report is very direct. Choosing the right AI tool isn't just some IT decision anymore. No, it's a core strategic move that is going to define a huge part of your organization's future. Just look at this comparison. On one side, you have these amazing opportunities. Productivity gains of up to 40%, way faster innovation, a real competitive edge. But then you look at the other side, and the risks are just as big. Devastating data breaches, regulatory fines, and really serious damage to your brand. Get it right, and it's transformative. Get it wrong? Well, it can be catastrophic. And this isn't just a theoretical thing. The report brings up a real-world example of a chatbot that started giving out terrible investment advice. Why? Because of something called model hallucination, which is basically a nice way of saying the AI just confidently makes stuff up. The result? Regulatory backlash and a massive loss of customer trust. This is what's really at stake.
So, how do we get all those amazing rewards while dodging the risks? The key isn't to just guess or to jump on the latest trend. It's about using a structured, strategic framework to make your decision. Now, before we dive into that framework, let's just do a super quick level set to make sure we're on the same page. When we say generative AI, we're talking about these new kinds of systems that can create brand new content. Things like text, images, even computer code, all based on the prompts that you give them. And this right here, this is probably the single most important idea in the entire Virtualization Options LLC report. The goal isn't to find the one single perfect tool. The goal is to build a repeatable process, a system your team can use to make the right choice again and again, especially as this technology just keeps evolving. And that process, that system, is built on 3 core pillars. This is the playbook that takes all the guesswork out of the equation. The framework itself is actually pretty simple and elegant. First, you define your needs and your metrics. Second, you evaluate all your options holistically. And third, you govern and monitor the tool continuously. Let's break down what each of those really means. Okay, so pillar 1 is all about starting with you, not with some slick vendor marketing. Before you even look at a single tool, you have to know exactly what problem you're trying to solve. Is it for generating marketing content? Is it for improving customer service? And more importantly, what does success actually look like? You have to define those specific metrics first. Now, this is where the evaluation process gets really, really clever. The report highlights an advanced technique they call LLM as a judge. Think of it like this. You actually use one powerful AI to act as a referee, automatically scoring the quality, the safety, and the relevance of another AI's output. It's a really powerful way to scale up your evaluation. But a really great evaluation isn't just about automated scores. And that's the core of the second pillar. It's a hybrid approach. You have to combine those automated assessments, like that AI judge we just talked about, with the absolutely essential human judgment that's needed to spot things like nuance and creativity.
And of course, you wrap that whole thing in a deep dive on security and compliance.
And finally, pillar 3. This is all about what happens after you've picked a tool. This is not a set it and forget it kind of a decision. The report really emphasizes that this is an ongoing process. It requires getting buy-in from everyone, IT, legal, the business side, and setting up clear rules for how it's used and a plan to constantly monitor and reevaluate.
So, what does all this look like in practice? Well, the report provides a template, kind of like this evaluation matrix here. By assigning weights to what matters most to your business, like maybe security is twice as important as cost, you create an objective scoring system to compare tools side by side. This brings cold, hard data to what can otherwise be a really subjective decision. And by following this kind of structured process, you move from feeling totally overwhelmed by all the choices to feeling empowered to choose with real confidence. So if we boil it all down, the key takeaways from the Virtualization Options LLC report are really clear. First, success with AI doesn't happen by accident. You need a strategic foundation. Second, this has to be a team sport. Collaboration across departments is absolutely non-negotiable. And finally, you have to treat this as a continuous cycle of improvement, not just a one-time purchase. And that leaves us with one final and I think crucial question to think about as you move forward. Is your organization building its AI future on a strategic, repeatable framework, or are you just leaving it all to chance?